And now for our main story, Dragon Age Vailgaurd, a game that we have been waiting for the longest time for, and have been wondering, why the hell did it take this game so long to come out? And IGN created a story, how BioWare finally got Dragon Age to the finish after a tumultuous decade. In a studio so steeped in history, McKay is a relative newcomer. He took over as BioWare general manager in the wake of Casey Hudson's second departure after stops at Disney, Marvel, and numerous other studios in his 25-year career. He worked on Def Jam Vendetta, Turok, and an RPG that was supposedly based on the metal group Iron Maiden. He preaches order and a commitment to quality in a studio that at times has been compared to a pirate ship and has experienced worrying amounts of crunch in its history. I certainly read a lot of the same stories you did, McKay said. I feel like we brought a little order to the chaos without stifling any of the creativity. McKay inherited a studio that in many respects was not in great shape. In the span between 2017 and 2020, BioWare cycled between multiple GMs as several of its most prominent creators departed. Lead writer David Grider exited in 2016. Mike Lytle, one of Dragon Age's chief architects, left BioWare in 2017. Former GM Aaron Flynn left to start his own studio and release Nightscale. Casey Hudson's left, came back, and left again. In 2020, Dragon Age had yet to enter alpha and was coming out of a period of experimenting its implementation of multiplayer. Since the release of Inquisition in 2014, BioWare's Dragon Age team had been pulled away multiple times to try and save different projects that were in trouble, cancelled at least one version of the sequel, and pivoted to multiplayer. It was a type of development hell that has killed many other projects, or at least badly damaged their quality. In the meantime, COVID-19 pandemic hit, upending the entire game industry. It was a period that BioWare began laying the foundation that would shape its course in the next several years. Dragon Age was really focused on some pretty clear decisions we needed to make, such as multiplayer, which we decided not to pursue for all the good reasons. And when I think about the state, I think about what is it that we wanted to do with this game. And it was really about going back to our roots and what we're great at, which is single-player hero fantasy games, obviously set in the world of Dragon Age around incredible storytelling. Characters that just jump out at you in the game, McKay says. I mean, the characters in this game, you're filled with love and loss and complex choices. And so we really wanted to make sure we're coming back to the heart. So it's not a multiplayer game, it's not a microtransactions game, it's an offline game. These are all things that we really wanted to return to what we feel would be a successful game. Nothing makes me happier when a development team that has gone through so much, and Dragon Age, the BioWare has gone through a lot. They've made Dragon Age Inquisition, which was a really good game from what I'm told, but also made Mass Effect Andromeda, which was really not a great game. It had great elements to it, but really wasn't a game that was well received by the fans. And this is what I mean, that you should let a single player game company make single player games. This is a company that experimented with an online game that completely flopped with Anthem and had a really good amount of elements and could have been seen as a really fun game, but that development team really is in its roots when it comes to single player games. And the reason why they've done single player games for so long is because they're so good at it. BioWare has made some of the best RPGs that we know of today, one of them being Knights of the Old Republic, and everybody loves those games, and they created those games. The Dragon Age games are their bread and butter. Their single-player games are their bread and butter. Mass Effect is such a great single-player game, and it's because it's what they're good at. They're great at making these great single-player games with RPG elements that have characters that just stick with you forever. I'll never forget any of the characters that I played in any BioWare game because they're that good. And forcing game developers to create games that are just not in their kind of area of expertise is a mistake. It's a mistake to make BioWare make a multiplayer game unless it's something that they wanted to do. And it was very clear that EA was the one that pushed them to make an online game, because that's what EA is. They want the money now and quickly. I'm so glad that Dragon Age Vailgaurd is focusing on its offline portions of the game that people want and people have been asking for the longest time to stick to. If your game studio is known for single player games, stick to that, because that's what will make you money. And I guarantee you, Dragon Age Vailgaurd will sell a lot. And seen as some of the previews have shown, this game is going to be a lot of fun. I've seen a lot of respected journalists who've gone to play a preview come back and say that this is one of the funnest games that they played that is from the Dragon Age series, that has nailed down the action part of the game, but also not neglected the RPG elements of this game, and also the beloved characters that everybody loves from Dragon Age, which is characters that just stick with you forever. And I am rooting for Dragon Age Vailgaurd, and I cannot wait to play it. Let me know what you think in the comment section. Do you think that Dragon Age Vailgaurd is going to be good? Do you think that this studio should stick to single-player games or multiplayer games? Let me know what you think in the comment section. And remember, you're pretty good.